Hello and welcome to the Quarterly Romance Book Club. My name is Desiree and also Libri Labra. You can find me on all the things. You are on my channel. And I'm joined today by my co-host, Chloe, aka Brunette Bibliophile. And today we're going to be talking about Rules for Second Chances by Maggie North. Chloe, do you want to try to summarize it?
Summarize it.
I can summarize it.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
All right, so it is a second chance romance, and the main character, she's kind of going through something. She feels like she's often ignored and in the background, and she just wants to step into herself. And part of that is her like detaching from her husband and kind of taking a break from him, and he doesn't want her to leave or go. And so he suggests this book that was all about improv, but specifically about using improv in relationships. So improv plays a huge role in this book. The start of every chapter is like a quote from a different, not that many different, like there's a few improv books that she does reference. And so every chapter kind of starts with one of those quotes. And I freaking love this. I loved this book so much. Chloe, go ahead.
My name's Chloe. You can find me on Instagram at Brunette Bibliophile. I didn't like it. I gave it 2.5 stars. It was going to be a 3 for a while, but then something like later on that we'll talk about bumped it down a half star. I genuinely do not understand how these ding-dongs ever got together in the first place. You cannot convince me that they are in love. It's like 2 random people got married, and now they're surprised that they're having problems.
Oh my God.
And I'm so confused. I need more background information on how they even ended up together in the first place, because you cannot convince me that these 2 were ever in love.
So I am definitely going to give it 5 stars. It blew me away for like so many different reasons. The improv element I thought was very unique. I thought the writing was good. I thought her humor was very funny. Like I laughed out loud so many times listening to this. I also, I don't know at what point I realized there was an improv element, but when I did, I was like, oh, I should probably listen to this with my husband because my husband works at an improv theater. And he is always trying to get me to come take their improv for anxiety class, which like I don't want to do because like I have anxiety. But like I get that he wants me to do it. I'll probably do it. I think it's only like one class, so whatever. I can live through that if it's important to him, and I don't doubt that I will benefit from it. But I'm gonna need more. I need more when you say that you don't understand why they were together, because I think for me the biggest thing that I see is that they could see each other. Like they weren't asking the other person to be something that they weren't.
Well, you see, I think the other part of it too is like at the very beginning of the book, we're at her birthday party, and where it's first person, which I know you love that shit.
Yeah.
And typically I don't pay attention to that.
Wait, hold on. Did you read it just with your eyes, or were you also listening to the audio?
I only listened to the audiobook for this.
Okay.
And okay, so book opens, we're at her birthday party. She's talking about how she's very introverted and her husband is more extroverted and has to like help her through the parties and things like that. I feel like I remember there was like some shit with her mother-in-law in the beginning. And I just feel like we're seeing like all this negativity through her eyes, which we are. But I just don't understand how they ever got to be married at some point. I needed more background information on them and how they got to this point, because I feel like this could almost be like a convenience marriage at a certain point.
I know they didn't give us like a ton of stuff in their past, but there was like her kind of reliving the memory of when he sort of proposed to her. Like it wasn't 100% an official proposal. It was like a proposal before the proposal kind of a thing.
Like, hey, I think this could be a good idea.
I think he gave her some kind of a shell. I don't remember what it was referred to, but like from like the first page, she does mention that they have like great sexual chemistry.
Takes more than that, Desiree. It takes more than that.
I mean, I know that, but like, you know, you take the good with the bad. Like,
do they know that?
Tobin isn't his family. Like, his family was definitely annoying. His mom was annoying. His dad was terrible. But like, Tobin as a person was like the life of the party. He was attractive. He was great in bed. He like was very outgoing. He cared about her and was just very like open and obviously didn't want to lose her either. I think a lot of what was being experienced in the book was just from her perspective, like just kind of this feeling of not knowing who she was, not knowing why she was different, not knowing why people didn't pay attention to her. Like she just kind of wanted to reclaim some kind of power. And I think that there was just like so much self-discovery in the book. I had a really hard time with the dad part, Tobin's dad, mostly because like he was clearly a narcissist, and like this is the second book in a row where there's like a parent that's a narcissist, and I'm like, man, that's intense. Especially to kind of watch the person you love dealing with that. But okay, so you just didn't believe they were together. Like why they would end up together.
I'm gonna skip like a million things ahead here because I was so mad when I got to like the reveal where she realizes that she's autistic. And I was like, you fucking kidding me? That's the reveal that you want to use? So I can only in recent memory think of one other book where it was like blatantly obvious, if not known, that she was autistic. Actually, I can think of two books. The first one is hold on, I gotta find it on my shelf so I can remember the name.
Wait, hold on, but like help me understand. Are you saying that you were surprised that that was a twist, or that that was how she found out?
I'm not surprised that she is autistic. I hate that that was like the twist or like the reveal.
Okay, because I was pretty sure it was on the back of the book, so I feel like
we'll find out.
Because I thought the reader goes into it knowing, and it's like it's a surprise to her, not to us. You know what I mean?
Stand by. No, there's nothing on the back about it.
Okay, that's really interesting because literally I started the book with John and he said, "Is she autistic?" And like literally like the first couple of percent in the audiobook. And I said, "Yeah." So like
well, John, wait for the reveal and you'll know. The back says she always felt like an introverted misfit.
Does it say she's neurodivergent? Like,
no.
Does it say she has ADHD? Like,
no.
That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe like recognizes like, I don't know.
It says along with her growing suspicion that her differences might go deeper than a simple social awkwardness.
Huh. I swear the word autism was on the back of the book.
Yeah, no. The autism was in the reveal. So which again, this is not it's not a problem. It's just like I don't like that it was used as a plot twist / reveal. There's a book by Helen Huang, the Heart Principle. I think that's what it says.
Yeah.
Where the character actually gets diagnosed with late stage autism at the beginning of the book, and she's going through the whole book trying to just balance her life. She's like a musical prodigy, and she also comes from an Asian family, so there's a lot of stereotypes around autism and mental health in families. So there's like a whole big discussion about that. And I like how that was done. For this, it's just like, oh, you and the niece are very similar together. Like, and then it was just like, am I autistic? And I didn't like that.
Okay, hold on. I'm like, because this is like, no, maybe it was the author's note then. Because like the author's note says, dear readers, this book features neurodiverse characters living in a world that, much like our own, was not designed for them. And so she kind of like goes into it. That must have been what it was, because like I just remember going into the story already knowing that this character was neurodivergent. And she says like, and for the voices of autistic Twitter who speak out about every part of autistic life, the struggle and the injustice, yes, and the community and the connection and the joy of it, I was so lucky to find this beautiful corner of the virtual world exactly when I needed it.
Twitter, RIP.
So that must have been what set us up for knowing. Like, so it wasn't a surprise, or it wasn't like, it didn't feel like a reveal. It just felt like the character had finally been like, oh, and it made sense to her.
I feel like by the time I got to that point, because by the time I got to that point, I was like, this is just okay. It's going to be a 3.
And that's what you took half of.
I was like, we're done here. I'm done.
I mean, to be honest, though, I feel like a lot of people who have discovered in like adulthood that they were autistic, oftentimes it's because they're having their kid tested for it, and it's through that process that they end up being like, wait, and like figuring that out. So I don't think the way that was done was bad or unrealistic or anything, especially since like the little kid's mother is her sister,
who I hated. The sister, I hated her. She was such a bitch.
Oh my god. What did you think of McHuge?
Okay, so I think I got lost along the way at some point. Not, kind of early on, kind of like maybe like a third of the way through, we'll say. Because improv, right? Like, right. When I think like Marriage in Trouble, I don't think improv, okay? So at one point, I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. It's because there's like so many fucking characters that I got confused. I was like, is Tobin improving and he's McHuge?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Then I backed up a little bit and I was like, okay, here's what's going on. So fucking confused. I don't do well with lots of characters, and I feel like I've read a lot of books recently that have like these huge casts of characters, and I'm like, guys, I'm just a girl. We keep it simple.
I like, I don't think, of all the references to improv things, I don't think McHuge's book exists, and I wish it did, because I would love to go read that.
Because he's the one that wrote the like improv for
couples or whatever. Yeah, yes. Okay. Like that. Whatever Tobin was like, we should try this. And
I
like,
also got like there's I feel like there's so many different like layers woven in. So it's like, all right, marriage in trouble. Okay, we got this. Hey, let's try improv. Somebody in the improv group somehow is at a different company that's a competitor to hers, which I feel like that came like late stage in the book. And then there's something else too. Oh, husband helps her practice. It's just like so many different things interwoven.
I mean, to me, at the forefront was like her process of self-discovery. And then obviously using the improv not just for the marriage in trouble, marriage in crisis, but also for her own like self-discovery.
I
Uh,
will say, I give this book it's a um like a good self discovery plot line. I almost said coming of age, but that's not right. I mean, it could be though. Same thing, just adults.
um I don't know what kind of things I highlighted, but I know there were some things that I was like, that was a really funny way to say that. Um, and I did, like, I just laughed out loud so many times. Let me see. Um, yeah, so I really liked her writing. So, like, one of my first highlights says, "That's marriage, a hall of mirrors where everyone can see everything and no one can escape." um, knows the rules of relationships and will blow the whistle on foul play. They want accountability. Who broke which law of love? As a therapist and an improv comedy player, I believe relationships all. See, this gets messed up because I have an E arc, and if I don't change the size properly, it cuts off my highlights, which sucks. We bobbed together watching the August meteor shower decorate the sky, my skin zinging with the beauty and the cold and the thrill of disobedience. So that was when she was talking about like when he proposed, pre-proposed. Um oh my god, and then this line about his dad, because his dad was like, "I have a surprise." And she was like, "Oh god, what could it possibly be?" But anyway, it's she says, "I'm imagining a lot of things Tor Renner would call a good surprise, and they're less 'I bought you a puppy' and more like 'I forged your signature on my mortgage.'"
So, um, the oh shoot, the dad. I had a celebrity fan cast for this, and now I can't remember his freaking name. I just remember. Oh, I think it was he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, but it might have been the second one. So now I gotta get his name.
Are you talking about like
And I think they actually compared him to Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, I think. He played a shitty dad in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So here's like a quote from the Second Chances Handbook. The more of yourself you put into improv, the more you get out of it. Commit to the scenario. Nothing destroys unity faster than one person deliberately holding back.
The only thing I remember about the improv rules is yes and.
I mean, like that is so as John so kindly told me today, he was like, "It's a way of life."
Okay.
It's the core philosophy in improv. Um, let me see. Goodness. Um, I don't know how I feel about the whole thing with the name though. Like I know that his dad like just threw it around that like his wife didn't that Liz didn't take his name.
I mean, I didn't take my husband's name
I
either.
also did not
Yeah,
take my
it's too
husband's
much
name.
paperwork.
So, like, yeah, and now with all the things that they're doing, I'm absolutely not changing my name. But, like, obviously she as a character has different feelings about it. But, like, she didn't want to take the name back then. So the fact that she was just like, I'll do the paperwork tomorrow. I don't know. That bothered me.
I was more like, okay, so you are questioning your marriage. You've been questioning it this entire time. You're talking about moving out or finding another place to stay so you can stay out of the house for the full, like, however much time it was. And now you're like, yeah, I'll change my name tomorrow. Like, no. What if you decide a week from now that this isn't going to work out? No.
I super raged because we were like driving home when I got to the part where she thought she won the pitch contest. And then Craig was like,
Oh.
yeah, you're going to develop Tobin's idea. And she was like the rage that I felt. How offensive and upsetting and like just it just made me so angry. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like that to me was more of a twist than
Mm-hmm.
her autism discovery.
And also, when it got to the point where the niece was like missing,
Yeah.
I was like, how do we have another thing to weave into this story?
Oh my god. I mean, like, I feel like I might go back and reread that part because, like, that seemed like the niece going missing. Like, the whole point of that was like for her to kind of reconnect with Tobin when they went to go look for her.
This whole book was supposed to be her reconnecting with
Yeah,
Tobin.
yeah, I know, but like they had just gotten to a point where he was like, take the promotion that you wanted. I'm gonna go start my own company, and we tried. It's fine. Like it seemed like they were just gonna go their different ways prior to that Amber Alert going off or whatever. Um, so, and if I remember correctly, it just felt like after they found her, what was the little girl's name? Eleanor.
I don't remember.
I think it might have been Eleanor. But it seemed like she used that as an opportunity to be like, oh, by the way, I'm looking into whether or not I'm autistic, and like the evidence kind of says yes.
It's like undiagnosed, but pretty sure. That's how I feel.
I am trying to remember like at what point I started crying because like I had to take my glasses off. Like I was full on crying. Not even like I just teared up or was getting sniffly. Like I was full on crying. I think it might have been the conversation with her sister where she was like, explaining that she was like Eleanor, but it was kind of just the idea, like, yeah, the sister was kind of a dick the whole time, but when you consider the fact that she had her suspicions about her sister being autistic because she has a daughter that's autistic, and her own husband left them, right? She was like, not in the best way, obviously, trying to protect her sister from doing too much.
Then why was she being such a bitch?
But that's why, because she was like, maybe you're not cut out for everything. And like again, I'm not saying like what she was doing was right, but
because she was also kicking her out of the house too.
Because she wanted her to go back to Tobin.
Well, that ain't how you do it. Hey, sorry, mom and dad are coming home. You have no place to live now.
Dude, his dad being like, I can't. Like, how was he married and then knocked up some other chick and then like
that pissed me off. How he was like, "Oh, this is nothing." Like, no, it's obviously something.
Yeah, no. And then he was like, "It's okay. Are you gonna make her sleep on the couch in her state?"
If that's what it takes.
Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, not only can she not sleep on the couch, she can't sleep anywhere in this house. Like, go figure your shit out.
I do like that her and the mom like became like friends though.
Yeah. Yeah, finally. Um, it sucks that her sister like made a scene at the wedding.
I feel like everything about the wedding, it was just like, oh, this happened at the wedding, this happened at the wedding, this happened at the wedding. I was like, what? This was a wedding? Like, that's so rude.
That is rude. Um, and so they had like I don't know, they had a lot of challenges. I don't remember if they stated like how long they were together before she started having her moment of like, who am I and what am I doing?
I don't know. I don't remember.
So you didn't laugh?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember. I read it all this week.
Do you just not like improv? I mean, when the players are good, improv is great. But like,
Okay, so do you ever read a book that was 5 stars and you're like, is this a good book? No. But it was at 5 stars for the vibes? Yes. That's how I feel about this book. Like, is it a bad book? No, I'm sure it has its audience. Obviously, you really liked it. Did I like it? No. Sometimes there's just no explanation, Desiree. Sometimes it's just vibes.
oh my god,
Have you ever
it felt.
considered just taking your reading and going off of vibes?
I feel like it took me on an emotional journey, and it was very funny, and it felt new. It felt different. Like I feel like that improv element was so unexpected, both in the fact that it was in the story and the way it was incorporated into the story. I thought was like really good.
So that's how I felt about Domcom. It felt different and something that I hadn't read before. That's how I felt about that.
I'm also feeling that about the book I'm reading right now, A Little Buzzed.
Yeah,
It's
I've been seeing that going around. I'll have to look into it.
yeah.
Somebody actually just told me about it the other day too. It wasn't you. It was somebody else had mentioned it and said what it was about, and I was like, oh, okay. I have to see who that was. I can't remember.
Um well, I guess if you want to do final thoughts.
I didn't like it. 2.5 stars. Honestly, 2.5 stars is not like a terrible
Oh
rating.
my god, yes
No, 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 for
it
me, for me. Because
is.
right, you will not like something, and you'll be like, I had this problem, this problem, this problem. 5 stars. For me, because for me, a 3 star is it was just okay, and that's not necessarily a terrible rating because I feel like that's a very like straightforward middle of the road rating for a 3, and it was only a half star below that. I will tell you what 2 means for me if I can find it. So a 2 is I didn't like it, but it wasn't hate level. And then a 3 was it's okay, it's not good, but not terrible, or I was bored. So we're somewhere in the middle of that.
Would you read anything else by this author?
Okay, yes, because there is a book that's either already out or coming out that I didn't know was like by this person. So I would give her a second chance with that. I gotta find it real quick. Fossil Feud.
Oh,
Yeah, I really like this cover.
okay.
So
I
I
have.
did
I'm trying to think of what the other book she has is called because I have. I'm almost positive I have the other one.
the Ripple Effect.
Yes, I do have that. Um, is that also Second Chance, or is that like Friends to Lovers? Hold on, I'm looking it up.
It's a Grumpy Sunshine, I think. Fake Engagement. Are we talking about Fossil Feud or Ripple Effect?
No, we're talking about Ripple Effect.
Okay, yeah. So I'm on the right one. Grumpy Sunshine, Fake Engagement. Says starting over, and then Fossil Feud is STEM, 2 paleontologists. I don't know.
When
I'm
does
excited
Fossil
for
Feud
Fossil.
come out?
Say that again.
When does Fossil Feud come out?
July.
Okay.
I feel like I'd read that one before I read The Ripple Effect. So anyway, you can have this book if you don't have it. I'll put it in your pile. I have a stack of stuff for you.
Yeah, yeah, I have a stock for you too. That would be great.
Don't forget my stack at Booknet Fest.
No, I'll put it in a bag. I'll put everything in the bag. Man, I'm gonna cause John and I left off, I want to say at like the 65%, maybe 70% mark before I was like, I can't wait for you. I need to like speed this up. But I'm gonna go back and re-listen to it with him, and I'm gonna get his thoughts on it because I feel like he kind of resonated with Liz. And so it'll be interesting to see because he's already had some reactions where he's like, damn. Like there was a part in the book where she was saying something like, maybe it was never about like finding myself. It was about finding other people around me who could also yes and.
It was about the friends we've made along the way.
So he was just like, damn. And that's when he was like, yeah, it's like a way of life. So
okay, sir.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like what his final thoughts are on the book too. But I think we do have a book picked out for our next quarter.
I don't have a copy of it readily available. However, we're going to be reading A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone because the thought process is it's Christmas in July. And we're going to discuss it right at the beginning of August. I don't think we have a date yet, or the date is tentative right now. So follow us on Instagram at BookTubeChicks, and I'll put it there like closer to Q3.
Well, thank you to anybody who like popped in and out, even if you got to watch for 2 seconds. I hope people who have read Rules for Second Chances by Maggie North find our discussion. Please let us know what you thought about the book in the comments, and maybe we'll see you for the next one. So take it easy. Bye.